I'm trying to tell you, I knew this was happening before it was happening. The big baller way. I told you so.
Fast forward to 2025, a new year, the Ball brothers officially back better than ever, like this was 2017 all over again. The youngest one rising to NBA superstardom, on his way inching closer to being a starter for the Eastern Conference. The oldest one coming back from multiple surgeries, countless setbacks, and excruciating rehab, from struggling to even walk the stairs at home. And Liangelo, not even thought of as a legit basketball player.
Big brother, I gotta, tell him the truth. You know what I'm saying?
that.
I think his path is overseas.
Had other ideas, from Lavar getting bashfully ridiculed, accused of training his kids too hard, getting questioned about the legitimacy of the big baller brand, staying away from the noise for years, now with his 3 sons earning millions of their own, creating legacies for themselves. Liangelo being the biggest surprise, signing a $13 million music deal with Def Jam, $8 million guaranteed, earning full ownership of music and his own record label. After the debut of Tweaker, breaking the entire basketball landscape, nobody has had a better start to the new year than the Ball family. Having the oldest son already having over $100 million in career earnings, Lamelo already signed a $200 million plus contract, an unthinkable path to success, Lavar proving worthy as an all-time legendary father. Once somebody gets a little taste of success, not everything's all sunshines and rainbows, but when adversity strikes, tough times follow. Many one-hit wonder celebrities fall off, never to be heard from again. One thing we learned over the course of some of the strongest, most powerful, and successful people across all fields of life, it's all about how we bounce back from difficult hardships and overcoming all the grueling obstacles life throws at us. The Ball family's legacies establish a powerful image to all cultures of life, having everything thrown at them the last couple years to continuous resiliency. Even just months ago, many forgotten about them completely, assuming Lamelo just be injury prone, stuck in small market Charlotte, never living up to his early hype, Lonzo on verge falling out the NBA and possibly retiring from basketball completely, and Liangelo only seen talking on podcasts. Even if all that was the case, they could have enjoyed their millions, disappeared, and lived a good life. But just being okay was never gonna be the result. Given all that talk throughout the years, many might consider Lavar cocky, ridiculous, unbearable, or maybe even a bit crazy, but having the ultimate confidence in his boys, letting the world know, have them figure out their paths as they began their careers as young adults, giving us warning signs from obnoxious, viewed too big to handle for mainstream media, and now labeled as unofficially Father of the Year. From possibly the best 3-child run all time, the Ball family's been counted out more times than we can count, never gave up. When one thing doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world, opening the door for new opportunities, much more impactful than his entire basketball career all put together. Just less than a year ago, Jello in Mexico, 2 games into the season, had a setback with an ankle injury, leading to a blessing in disguise, allowed him focusing on music, earned over 8 million views on World Star Hip Hop YouTube channel 10 days after its release. All 3 been absolutely big ballers, whether on the hardwood or in the studios. Every true baller's ultimate dream. Growing up in the eastern suburbs of Los Angeles during the early 2000s, an extroverted, energetic 6'5", 260-pound tight end and former hooper in his own right, went as far as playing on a couple NFL's practice squads before focusing on raising his 3 sons, helped turn them into basketball prodigies, wasted no time, had them work out when they were 4 or 5 years old, competing with one another, have them lift weights, thousands of hours at home workouts, the mile-long incline sprints up the hills in chinos, installing the hardworking mindset into his boys, and it absolutely paid dividends.
A lot of people be like, oh, you push them to the limit. No, I guide them to the limit. I tell them what to do and get it done. But if I gotta push you, this ain't for you.
Older brother Lonzo emerged as a top-tier point guard with size, unselfish qualities, 5-star recruit, all even played on the same team in Chino Hills High School, a place once unknown to 99.9% of Americans, now a household reputation. All three perfect chemistry on the court, never stopped running, from draining outlet passes to pulling up from 30 feet, averaged 98 points a game, 35 in all season, earning their first state championship. Lonzo averaged a triple-double senior year, Liangelo 27.5 points, Lamelo over 16 as a freshman. The work ethic from day one, unmatched. Lonzo's one-and-done season turned UCLA into must-watch powerhouse TV, got TJ Leaf drafted, became the nation's most talked-about college player, guaranteed to be a top 3 pick. Liangelo committed to UCLA to follow older bro's footsteps, while Lamelo also committed at a young age, did unfathomable things with the ball other kids his age could only dream. 2017, vibes at an all-time high, Lavar became a household name, Lonzo in college, more talked about than established NBA stars like Jimmy Butler and DeMar DeRozan. From Lavar being at the height of his powers all 2017, invincible trash talk, expectations and hard work, having his eldest son reach his dream as an NBA player, the struggles and backlash were to follow. Setting expectations through the roof, from saying his son's better than Steph Curry, all we heard were the crazy statements one after another, criticized for putting a target on his kid, made Lonzo's journey to the NBA extremely difficult. From the opening tip in his debut, opponents motivated to prove a point, injuries started to pile up, labeled the face of the Lakers post-Kobe era, expectations almost unrealistic. From the big baller shoes, some believe even led to more injuries for Zoe, missed a combined 65 games first 2 seasons. His basketball hype got derailed after LeBron took his talents to Los Angeles. Ball essentially viewed a trade piece for a potential superstar, traded to New Orleans for AD, team elected to not make him part of their long-term future, didn't become a franchise star like anticipated, but became respectable, earning 4 years $80 million from the Chicago Bulls, paired up with 2 ball-dominant scorers, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Zoe became the perfect glue guy, combined with his tenacious defense, improved outside shooting. Chicago, even a number 1 seed at times, near the midway point of the 22 season, posted a 27-13 record when Lonzo went down with the devastating knee injury, expected to recover 4 to 6 weeks. Little did anybody expect Lonzo Ball wouldn't play NBA basketball for over 1,000 days, missed 2.5 full seasons, leaving the Bulls franchise in shambles, a first-round exit followed by 2 straight missed playoffs. After undergoing 3 procedures on that left knee, even the Bulls believed he might never play in the NBA again. Needed to get a meniscus transplant from a donor, a risky but much needed move, but still heading into 2024-25 season, many didn't think he'd be able to play again. As for Liangelo, Lavar even acknowledged early on he didn't believe his middle son would have the tools to be an NBA player. Stocky built, not as fundamentally skilled as his 2 brothers, relying on other teammates to set him up, and using his abilities as an undersized 6'5" power forward. After just a few months on campus, 1 preseason game, his collegiate career all of a sudden over after he and a few teammates got caught shoplifting in China. Even had the United States president involved. Less than a month after the incident, Lavar pulled Liangelo out of UCLA and had youngest son Lamelo turn pro in Lithuania. Both brothers played together professionally. After a couple games, Liangelo announced his decision to enter the 2018 NBA draft, a long shot, of course, undrafted. Signed to the Junior Basketball Association, a league founded by his pops as an alternative to college hoops to hype himself up, had a 53, 10, and 10 debut stat line, deflated stats compared to other legit pro competition, made a couple summer league and even G League appearances with the Greensboro Swarm. Jello never quite established a specific appealing skill set like both his brothers with insane passing, continued to deal with the pressure of living up to his family's legacy, the missing piece for an NBA trifecta, painted as the forgotten ball brother, scrutinized and criticized, the closest he sniffed an NBA roster, getting a non-guaranteed deal with the Hornets September 2022 before waived October 15th, last played in Mexico but hurt, managed to do the unthinkable next. The younger Lamelo showed the most upside, joining brother Zoe to become the first set of brothers picked top 3 in the draft. One can only imagine how the league be like if Golden State taken him instead of James Wiseman. Year 5 stuck in bottom shelf Charlotte, showing incredible promise, became the youngest to post a triple-double, a record later broken again. Despite a wrist injury that kept him out 21 games, still able to edge out Ant Edwards for Rookie of the Year, had a pretty healthy 2022 season, led his team to a play-in berth before the brutal non-contact knee injury, February 27, 2023. His teammates ran into massive off-court problems, multiple guys making headlines for the wrong reasons, no leadership vets. From the Hornets being on the rise to rock bottom again, landed number 2 pick Brandon Miller, ball limited to 58 combined games each of the last 2 seasons, labeled immature, injury prone, and empty stats after getting that rookie extension. Many question whether he even takes the NBA seriously anymore. Barely available, but a top tier passer, playmaker with a deadly outside shot, basically getting the Devin Booker treatment before CP3's arrival. Having tons of ankle concerns, many blame Lavar for putting all that mileage into his kids to bad workout forms, possibly leading to many injuries. Lamelo's wrist and ankle appear like freak accidents. 2 straight season-ending injuries after the 23-24 year. The Ball's family stock at their lowest point, but then the youngest one set the tone, reminded the world how insanely talented he is. Fearless basketball style, the crazy one-legged step-back threes, still doesn't get enough credit. No NBA player makes tougher shots. A unique unbothered style, the 21st century Pistol Pete Maravich, with the uncanny unpredictability, underappreciated, still quietly averaging near 36 and 8. Charlotte 1-10 in games he's missed, had one of the quietest 50-point games of the season, third youngest in league history to drop a 50-piece. Resulted by scoring 44 the following game. Melo's given Hornets fans something to be truly excited for the first time in decades. One of the deepest backs in the league, takes 25 shots a game, will cut down if he ever gets the help needed. Plays like a less developed 2019 James Harden. His next step in progressing, staying healthy, enough for award considerations. And the Hornets front office needs to start assembling pieces around him. Still being 23 years old, 2 years from now, if Charlotte continues losing, Ball might have to demand out. But for the rest of 2025, no star has been as carefree, more effectively than LaMelo Ball himself, looking to reach closer to top 25 player discussion. Many convinced he's already there. Older brother Lonzo returned, missed a few weeks with a wrist injury, had his first dunk in over 1100 days, slowly getting back to his groove. Nearly 3 years, finally made the starting lineup. Now 27 years old, won't become the number 2 pick star anticipated to be, but already came a long way. The intangibles as a winning player with the IQ, tenacity, and fundamentals shall keep him in the league as a future asset to a valuable contender. Likely a positive 6th man, aiming to take the Sean Livingston route, might keep him around the NBA as an impactful player for the rest of the 2020s decade. Finally, Liangelo, labeled delusional for not giving up his NBA hopes, messed around with other stuff. Age 26, could enter the start of his music career, potentially become an NBA celebrity for All-Star Weekend, earn his big splash. The Ball family marketing geniuses, given their track records, Jello might even be able to sing his way to the league. Can younger brother Lamelo become good enough to get a say in his franchise, bring along whoever teammate he wants? Liangelo, with multiple options up in the air, has the brand, looks, style as a successful rapper.
Honestly, that boy is special. He's gonna be the world's greatest rapper.
Can continue destroying other famous non-NBA players on the court instead of being remembered for being under his brother's shadows, successfully creating something unique out of himself. The Ball's family reputation now stronger and better than ever. All three about to reach their height of their career powers. Truly one of the most fascinating families of this era. Nobody smiling harder than the man that made it all happen from day one.